My name's Jordan, and this is Seth. And together we've been living aboard our 32-foot sailboat since 2020 in the beautiful waters of Nova Scotia. Currently we're sailing south to the Caribbean, so if you're into sailing videos or life aboard, click that subscribe button, and thank you for your support. As I sit aboard our boat, editing this video in 35 degrees Celsius heat, I want to thank everyone who shared their strong opinions about the AI British man's voice in our last upload. This one's for you. You get my voice this time. Enjoy. In desperate need of groceries, we headed into town. And the further south we got, the more pelicans we saw. Tied up our dinghy at the free dock and hauled out our trusty cart, whose front right wheel is barely hanging on.
Okay, I don't think we're going to be able to fix it. Bub's Publix.
But first, a quick detour to a little park just across the grocery store parking lot. It's part of a battlefield.
Yeah, it's the site of a battlefield that stretches from here to the Sound.
Oaktown?
I'm assuming it's Bogue Sound. Unless there's another sound closer to here.
This is probably so wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
These earthworks comprise part of the Confederate Army's Sugar Loaf Lines that extended from Sugarloaf Hill, a 50-foot high natural sand dune on the bank of the Cape Fear River eastward for about 1.5 miles to the headwaters of Myrtle Grove Sound. So we believe that's part of this line here. Our guess is that this little mound right here is the Sugarloaf line. So basically the Sugarloaf line was a giant wall made of dirt with cannons on it to protect Wilmington, to keep the enemies out, but in the end it didn't work and they ended up taking over Wilmington.
Expensive.
I've never heard of Publix before, but we just spent $300 Canadian on
Nothing.
not much. And they're really nice in there, and they pack your bags for you, and they take your cart back. But I'd rather nasty-ass people and pay $150, please. That's so expensive. Like, what the heck? For food, to survive.
He doesn't like that.
The morning of our biggest trip yet. Hopefully, if we make it all the way, we plan on going from where we are right now, Carolina Beach, to Fernandina Beach, which is 270 nautical miles from where we are currently. A couple issues we're having is when we start the engine, our RPMs are at 1500, they drop down to 5, they bounce back up. Only when we start the engine, then it stops. That is the fuel in our Raycor filter. I just bled it out, and that's what came out. So that could be an issue, is our fuel. Also, I noticed in our steering, sometimes when we turn, there was a pop. That is something we probably should explore. Probably need to replace the Raycor filter, the fuel lift pump filter, check the steering. And that's like all the issues I know of right now. Oh, and our prop does that. Bit nervous, but I'm not too nervous. Bed is already set up for our shifts. Everything is stored in the V-berth.
Ready to lift it up?
Yeah, how do you feel?
Let's get underway.
It's a bit cold this morning. We were really hot last night. We turned off the heater, but then this morning we were pretty cold when we woke up. The RPMs don't seem to bounce after we've had it running for a while, so I don't really know what's going on. I've asked 3 people, so I'm just waiting on their replies.
I'm going to start on the back.
We are motoring through Cape Fear River.
Hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy.
We haven't even left yet, and my nerves are already getting a little bit of best of me. If we go further offshore from Cape Fear, we could be experiencing up to 30 knot gusts. So we're gonna try to hug the coast around Myrtle Beach. That's like the worst of it, hopefully, so. Just makes me a bit nervous.
Put me together, take me back where I've been.
You do really feel at the mercy of the sea.
I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Hold on, put me together, take me back where I've been.
We are very close to leaving the Cape Fear River, and it was worse wind and swell in there than we're experiencing now, which is kind of a relief. If it's 20 knot gusts in there and it was pretty choppy, like what's it gonna be like out here? But so far it looks okay. I'm just finishing up washing my hair. We're underway now, sail alone. I haven't got my sea legs back. I'm falling all over the place and I feel pretty good so far. However, I know we're in for a little treat later. And that I am anticipating and nervous for. But I'll try to hold off. At this point, Seth noticed the boat coming really close to us, so he asked me if we were on channel 16, and it turns out we weren't. We were accidentally only monitoring channel 13.
Vessel Skylarkers with a Seth Folly on board. This is Coast Guard Sector North Carolina on channel 16, over.
Oh, so they called us out. They said with the Seth Foley on board.
Really?
Yeah. What do I say? What do I say? Coast Guard, this is sailing vessel Skylarker. Over.
Yeah. Well,
Coast Guard, this is sailing vessel Skylarker. Over. Yeah.
Vessel Skylarkers, this is Coast Guard Sector North Carolina. What's your current GPS position, over?
What's our current GPS position?
we are 33 degrees north, 78 degrees west.
Okay.
Our heading is 260.
No, 33 degrees and 78?
Yeah.
We are 33 degrees north and 78 degrees west. Over.
Why do they say Seth Foley on board?
Vessel Skylarkers, this is Coast Guard Sector North Carolina. Roger, that's good copy. Request to know if you are currently in distress, over.
Let us know if you're currently in distress.
Oh. No, we are not currently in distress. All is
Coast Guard, this is sailing vessel Skylarker. We are currently not in distress. We are headed to Fernandina Beach in Florida.
Vessel Skylarkers, this is Sector North Carolina. Request you check your equipment. We have an active POB going off on board.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh, there's an active POB going off on our vessel.
Really?
Maybe it's the one in my pocket. With the Seth Foley on board. Oh, it is this one. Oh, shit. How do I turn it off? Coast Guard, this is sailing vessel Skylarker. I copied your last message and I think we turned off the POB. Can you confirm? Over.
Vessel Skylarkers, this is Sector North Carolina. Roger, stand by.
Roger, standby. Oops. I accidentally had this set off. I threw it in my pocket. I don't know how it got set off. Hopefully I stopped it. This is the one that Matt gave us and I just threw it in my pocket. Probably why they knew your name, because it was connected to this. Oh no, now Matt's gonna get alerted. Oh shoot, where's my phone? That's not good. Well, that's kind of nice that they contact you. Now we know. Whoopsie. It's like, why would they think we're in distress? That's kind of funny. Uh-oh, I'm worried for Matt. Hi, sorry Matt, we accidentally set that one off. The Coast Guard just reached us. He said, get your VHF on. And we were only on channel 13. We weren't monitoring 16 probably at the time they were calling us. Seth just switched it. I'm not sure how it went off. I didn't have the case open. It was just in my pocket. But I've been bumping into things because we're heeling over. Oh, God. Okay, Matt just said there was a boat and a helicopter in there. Your need to relay the hex ID on the unit so they can stand down. Yes.
Coast Guard boat.
So Matt must have got a call and they said Seth Foley. We literally just left too. We're already. They had a helicopter in the air. That's pretty quick action. That makes me feel better actually. Whoever's at the helm needs to wear that. Because the other one is just the AIS. It doesn't go to the Coast Guard. I actually think I prefer the satellite one than the one in our life vests. Because AIS, like, it's for you. Where did I put that? I should probably take it out of my pocket. I was like, why would we be in distress? That's That's bad.
Well, I thought it was weird that survey boat was coming so close to us. Because they might have got the
Oh. Oh, I think they're calling us. Coast Guard, this is sailing vessel Skylarker, over. Good practice.
Skylarker, this is Sector North Carolina. Captain, request if you can confirm the hex ID numbers on your PLB. Over.
Great, now they need the hex numbers, and I'm not sure what that is.
North Carolina, roger, that is good copy on all. We'll be standing by on channel 16. Sector out.
That guy's probably coming close. We had a vessel come close to us, which is why Seth was like, is the VHF on? And he turned 16 because there was this surveying boat coming by. Meanwhile, I'm rinsing my hair over the side of the boat all casual, and he's probably like, what the hell? And we had just set off our PLB, and I'm just washing my hair off the side of the boat. Well, I appreciate their fast acting, and now I know that works. So that's the one to keep on hand. Good practice on the radio, I suppose.
What is she
went off. You help us, I need washing. Oh my god. Yeah, actually I thought Matt sent that in the group chat, so we were worried about Seth's mom, but he sent it in our chat with just him and Swanee, so. Not off to a great start, but my hair is clean.
staying warm?
You just gotta sit in the sun. We have our engine back on because we were doing under 4 knots. And if we go too slow, we're gonna get some nastier winds towards Jacksonville tomorrow, so. And tonight, it just seems a little, I don't know. Like tonight, we're gonna get 27 knot winds. It's quite a contrast to what it is right now. Hey! Excuse me. Look at all these birds are. There's a whale somewhere. We saw a whale off in the distance. There was a bunch of birds, a bunch of gannets and seagulls and cormorants, and we got the, well, we didn't have to get the binoculars out. You could see that there was a bunch of dolphins, and then we saw a whale appear. And I tried to get it on video with the binoculars, but it didn't work, because then we had to furl in the jib, or not, then we had to sheet in the jib when I was trying to do that, and I missed it. Also, I saw the spray of the whale, and I thought I was videoing, but I wasn't. So, we got our engine on, both sails up, 7 knots true wind speed. Dear Journal, we're underway and I'm on my 4-hour watch while Seth tries to sleep because we both know I'm not good at sleeping and he's going to take over the night shift, or we both will together. Unfortunately, we're running the engine. 4.5 to 5.5 knots of speed. The water is Kool-Aid blue. It's so beautiful. We saw a whale earlier. Must have been fish. I'm nervous for tonight's winds. They look ferocious. I accidentally set off the PLB that Matt lent us. Hopefully this isn't foreshadowing the rest of the trip. It's 2:40 p.m. I don't have any reception, which I don't like. We're 20 nautical miles offshore. Today is Tuesday. The first song that comes on my shuffle is Tuesday's Dead, Cat Stevens. Frig, man.
getting spooky.
Are you getting scared?
No. Maybe a little.
What way's the wind coming from? Directly ahead still?
Pretty much, you know. Yeah. Right on the nose.
That sucks. I'm listening to a movie to kind of drown out the sound of the engine too. I'm a bit nervous because now it's nighttime. Not too nervous, but I am nervous for the swell we're gonna hit. And I think we're getting like wind right on our nose. Strong winds. And I think that will be difficult to motor through. And uncomfortable. And scary. We'll see. There's the moon. It's a great night.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's gonna get darker than this.
I think it's gonna get brighter. The moon changes color.
Yeah.
Takes off the white light.
Wow.
Hot.
I know. But if we turn it off, it'll be cold. We are, well, it's like 11 o'clock. I just slept for like an hour. And I've been laying down for 2 hours. It's definitely getting bumpier. There's more movies.
Well, probably for a long time.
Anyway, very tired still, but also kind of awake. The boat is bouncing a lot. We are just like head on with waves and wind. Fortunately, not too much wind, but they're literally coming right at our head, so it's rough, and we're doing less than 4 knots at times. Probably most of the time. 3.4, 3.6.
It's so hot. I don't know who either.
You want to turn it off?
I think so. You can always turn it back off in a little bit.
Okay. But I think the worst of it is to come in a couple hours. Our hatch just flew open. You can hear smash, smash, as it just flung open in the V-bird. And flew all the way back. This is not fun. We might be changing our course a bit. Alright, I'm going outside and we have one reef in the main right now. We're just gonna throw in another one. The waves are so choppy. It's almost like we need to slow down, which he is. Feeling a bit stressed out. I don't have any reception, so I don't know how to like check the weather. It would be nice. I'm tired. Looking forward to this part of the sail being over. I just checked like the inlets as well in case we wanted to bail, but the current is like over 1 knot coming out. Navigating that at night, not be fun. No, the boat can handle more than me. These are some pretty loud bangs. It is miserable. The waves are huge. 3.5 knots. We changed our course quite a bit. My mouth is getting dry. I'm feeling stressed. We just had a really big wave. Bang!
Yeah, it was pretty bad here.
Brutal.
This is worse than Jersey for sure.
Oh, then Jersey, yeah.
This is way worse.
We're going against the current and the wind and the waves. We're literally sailing to weather right now.
That was bad fun. Just trying to pee here.
I'm glad our engine is running. There's a lot of water getting in the cockpit. And leaking down here. No, should we heave too? Just wait it out?
I don't think so.
Hello again. 12 o'clock. One more. Feeling very good. No way I can see. Double. It's 23 knot winds. And lots of waves. Ugh. So fucking worse. Sell a boat and buy a man. Never do this again. Just can't wait for this bad bird to be over. Just over that side, and there's some waves up there. They're like massive. I don't even know how the boat's surviving right now. That little bit of puke actually felt really good. Oh yeah. Our engine just shut off. Our fuel wasn't working. Well, we're not making it nearly as far as we hoped, and I'm on the radio right now with the Coast Guard, and they're contacting Boat US for us to get a tow into Charleston because our engine just failed, and we're scared it's gonna quit out in the channel. And I got a big mark on my face. The engine seems to be doing fine now, but we're just gonna pick the first entrance and fly home. This was a miserable time. I know it's supposed to improve and this is the worst of it, but the waves are like actually so huge. We've just been surviving all night. Oh boy. So basically we're at the point where we've contacted the Coast Guard, they contacted Boat US for us, and they have tiny little boats. They're not going to be able to make it out here and tow us. The best they can do is at the jetties, which is just at the entrance of the channel, and if we can make it that far, we're fine to make it to the anchorage. The problem is getting through all this chop and the engine not die. And hopefully there's no traffic. Careful about the big old waves. So the Coast Guard is contacting another towing company for us to see if they can find a solution. We'll probably be fine. Seth and I are like, we'll have a discussion when we get in and do a video update of like where our minds are at and stuff. This one really took like everything out of us, I think. Just feels like our boat was picked up and like flying, like every wave was a ramp. It would just take off on the ramp and then smash. There's relief in knowing we're almost there though. But we've really just taken the worst part of this trip. There would have been better days. Because we made it a little further south. Yeah, best condition. What is he sailing in? Yeah, it's the second time it happened. Our RPMs dipped down low again, and it doesn't seem like we're gonna get any help out here. If it does, oh, did you see the water? Water literally just flew in. I should close that. It's like the worst case. So we're gonna have like a knot of current against us. And our engine might die. At this point we're getting close enough to the channel where we have to start looking out for boats. Ships. There's a lot of traffic through here. I feel sick and I just want to be there already. Literally, the anchor goes underwater on the bow. Oh, our engine's gonna cut out. I can hear it. We are in the channel now. Still rough, not as bad, but we also have a current going against us, so we're a bit slow. The towboat guy is going to be waiting at the jetty on our starboard side near the bridge, I think. I don't know. I heard somebody talking about starboard side on the bridge on the VHF. Didn't call out my name first, so I don't know if they were talking to me, but they said it twice. They were breaking up. Completely exhausted. Feeling sick. Yeah, poor Skylarker. If I think about Skylarker, I'll cry. Our hope rose with the sun as the weather improved in the morning. It was especially nice to be able to see outside again. We left Carolina Beach with a great weather window aside from the first night. We knew it would be rough, but we weren't expecting it to be that uncomfortable. As we approached the jetties, Towboat US met us and escorted us to our anchorage, just in case the engine gave out while we chugged along against a strong current in the busy channel. This is kind of the aftermath.
The aftermath.
I mean, not really, but we slept here last night. Seth's just cleaning up, so he removed stuff out of the V-berth, but our V-berth was full of stuff, and if you can see where the darker lines are, that is just from our hatch flying open, and you can see all the drips. Oh my goodness. I gotta really wash this. But this flung open, and even back there, soaked it. Like a big wave washed over the boat and flooded in here. Wow. Somehow it even got up there. Yeah. So we're going to air that out today. I'm still dealing with a black eye from when I flew. I'll show you what I flew into. So I was running through to the bathroom to puke, and I got launched forward and smoked my face into this. That is the result. Or did Seth punch me?
No, I didn't punch her.
He didn't punch me. He just slept here while I puked with no comfort at all for what I was going through. I puked in the sink as well. However, it wasn't much puking. It was a lot of just dry heaving. Which is funny because Seth made us beans and hamburger and none of that came up. Just the cucumber I ate and then nothing else. This hatch was leaking. This hatch never leaks and it was dripping on me when we were sleeping. We also noticed a drip of water coming down here like a stream. I saw a stream of water coming out, flowing, which I've never seen before, even in a heavy rain. Yeah, so today we're just going to dry everything out and clean up the boat, get ourselves settled, and then we still need to find a dinghy. Since we lost our dinghy, I've been in contact with some people. There's this one where this guy's really close, and he could give it to us today, $400, but it's PVC, and I read a review about the bottom of it not being so great, but I mean, it's so convenient, maybe we should just do it. So I've just been looking at dinghies all morning. And I'm crawling back. So yesterday when we got back, Seth had a cry. Just feeling overwhelmed by everything. I felt very disconnected from any emotion that I felt from our sail. But it was very hard. It was kind of like something we never want to go through again, and almost we just didn't want to ever. We almost didn't want to go sailing. Seth is at the point where he wished he could just go home, I think, and knowing that he's not going to be going home for a while is a hard thing to deal with after yesterday. But we're just all out of sorts. Lack of nutrition, lack of sleep.
I just feel like, as you said, I was overwhelmed. So the sail yesterday was a nightmare. And, you know, we knew we were going to be taking some wind on the head, but I think we figured that the wind was going to shift to a more favorable direction, and it didn't, so we just sailed directly into it. We had the main up, double reefed, and we were motoring. When the wind did pick up, like we couldn't go on deck to actually drop the mainsail, which is always a scary thing.
Yeah, it was like the cockpit was a dangerous place. Hey, Grim Cubs, it's easy. Don't look at the back of my head.
Don't look at the back of my head, viewers.
We just both laid in the fetal position on this settee and like waited it out. That's basically going out in the cockpit every 20 minutes just to check our course was seriously dangerous, because when we would go out, the boat would jolt you forward.
Yeah, no, it was really bad situation, so I'd really like to not relive that.
We're never, ever, ever gonna sail through something like that again.
Yeah, We're only going to go if the conditions are perfect. We are fair weather sailors.
It was hours of just wave over top of the boat. Boosh, like the whole Dodge, you could just feel a wave going boosh over it.
Yeah, no, it was...
Our rails were dipping in.
It was intense. And Skylarker did a really good job.
But it felt like it was falling apart.
It felt like it was falling apart.
Sebastian apparently had talked about, our friend at the yacht club had mentioned keels falling off before. So then that was a moment of Seth to just start worrying that the keel, because it sounded really bad. Like, it sounded like the boat was being picked up and just dropped into pavement. Bang! Like, smash! It was creaking constantly, and the smashes were so loud that Seth started to think of the worst, that the keel would fall off. I mean, I didn't even let myself go there, but I could have if I wanted to.
Yeah, I started to worry about a lot of things. Had our ditch bag ready and like a whole plan if we needed to.
I got out our sheet.
Bail the boat.
Yeah, our sheet.
Which would have been terrifying.
We have a Mayday sheet that I wrote up, so if anything were to happen, I would know what to say. However, it's like been ruined by water, so it's hard to read. But I took that out of our folder and had it ready beside us just in case. I thought about the ditch bag. I was like, maybe we should fill up a dry bag full of the stuff we want to take with us in case we... And then I told Seth, okay, ditch bag and those... And we had to get our... If the keel does fall off... the keel falls off, ditch bag, and, what are those suits called?
Immersion suits.
Yeah, those are the two things just to think about in case the worst happened. Yeah. But we called the Coast Guard at 2 a.m. and I'm not sure I filmed that, but every half hour they called in and just asked how we were doing and if our condition was getting worse.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
15 nautical miles offshore, the waves, they were so disorganized. They were coming towards us, but then there was other ones that would come from the side, and it just seemed like making these big pyramids, hitting us all so funny. It took us a while to get in, and I called the Coast Guard, and they said towboat can't come that far offshore. They're just a small boat. And I was like, can somebody else? I was in such a panic. What if we're actually trapped out here? It would be nice just to know somebody could come out and rescue us in these conditions.
Yeah, well, if it was an actual emergency, then Coast Guard would have came. But the fact that we were still able to sail and motor, and we were still conscious, all right.
Yeah.
They're not gonna send somebody out. And we got in on our own. It was comforting to have Towboat US kind of follow us in, and they guided us into our anchorage. But Skylarker did great. Once the swell calmed down when we got closer to Charleston, the motor was fine. It was it was...
It's those big, some waves would rock us up forward and back. Then the engine, you could hear the RPM start to drop.
Yeah, so it's
not even side to side. It was the forward and big forward. And when the engine cut out the first time, I thought at points we were doing over 5 knots and sometimes up to 6 knots. So we were going pretty fast.
And we made great time despite it being a shitstorm.
Yeah, and when the engine failed the first time, when we did shut it off, our momentum forward was lost completely. We just ride an up and down wave, and then it was we were almost just at a standstill.
Yeah, dropped down to 1 knots or 2 knots and just windy as fuck. So that was scary.
You could feel the whole mast. You could tell we were overpowered, but there was no way we could lower the mainsail at that point. It was crazy. And I don't even know if having no sail up would have been a good idea, because 2 reefs is the most.
Been hobbling even more.
Yeah, so 2 reefs is as most as we could do, and having no sail at all, and just our engine that was kind of tripping out. That would have been relying completely on the engine would have been kind of a scary move.
Well, especially with it shutting off. So.
Yeah, exactly. So you could feel inside when we were laying down in fetal position on the settee. I could just close my eyes. I could just hear the mast shake, vibrating so hard, because we began really strong gusts that just the boat was struggling with. And we had the main sheet let out completely. For the wind coming at us, we were dumping a lot of it off just because it was too much. It was as loose as it could be. Yeah. And a lot of the excess sail, which doesn't normally happen, but it was hanging below the boom, and that was just flapping.
Yeah, we should probably do an inspection of our mainsail now that it's kind of calmer. It was gnarly, intense sailing that I don't think I need to experience.
Does it
ever
make you
again.
feel weird talking about it now? Do you have
A little bit. Like, honestly, I'm like shaken and afraid, and I don't really want to do that again. It's a battle of sort of willpower all the time, and right now it's, you know, the will to quit's kind of winning.
Well, we have friends who've never actually met yet. We keep mentioning sailing Tantalus, and they've been sailing for a few years now. And we were talking to them, and Arthur said in the 4,000 nautical miles that they've sailed, they've never had a bad passage.
They're like experienced sailors, and you know, they take their time, and they only go when it's, you know, favorable conditions.
They know how to read the
they
weather.
don't have any bad sails. I feel like most of this trip's probably been like 80 or 90% bad sails, and
that's because we're learning.
And like
we don't
10%
know.
decent sails for us.
It also is good that we go out and crap like that, because then it's like, okay, this is what happens when the wind is this way. Because we knew we were going to get into that, but we're like, it's only a little bit of suffering. The wind will shift, and we're going to have a beautiful day the next day. Which is true. Yesterday would have been a great day to sail.
When we got into Charleston, the wind finally did shift like it was supposed to. And
died down a lot.
Died down, and it was blowing.
Sunny.
It would have been a broad reach if we were continuing down the coast.
Yeah, it would have been a great day.
It would have been an ideal day for sailing.
We shouldn't have tried to go as far as we did. We should have left just for Charleston like yesterday and had a good day.
It's challenging this time of year. We're in January now, and just the weather windows that you do have to work with are much shorter than they generally are in the summer. You know, you're trying to make the most time as you possibly can with the weather that you have. But I think moving forward, we're just gonna, you know, go when the conditions are basically perfect, and we have the option to hide in the ICW and still make progress too. So I think that's probably what we're going to do moving forward.
I will to say that when you're in the ICW for those few days, like, I was getting sick of motoring. I was getting sick of having to be on watch every hour and then in a channel that should have been fine, we ran aground. Like, there was just
a lot of shoaling happens in the ICW.
And it was boof, but at least it's sand.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I'm sick of this. I just want to go offshore and, like, we can just do whatever we want. And that day was nice. It was a nice sunny day when we left.
Yeah,
just the night
before
was
the night it was a really decent sail.
Oh, well, we're here now, and we have friends we met in Elizabeth City that are from Nova Scotia, and they are actually just further up the channel under a couple of bridges, and we're going to hang out with them tomorrow.
Yep, and hopefully pick up a new dinghy, because we lost our dinghy in the night, which, you know, I feel really sad and, you know, kind of depressed about that too, because that dinghy's been along with us this whole way, and even before the journey started. Like, we had that dinghy for a while, so it's a little bit like losing a crew member.
Yeah, but we didn't look after it.
He's probably going to make it to the Bahamas before us.
Yeah,
like, he's
just out there.
With the way the winds are blowing and where we lost it, he's probably going to drift to the Bahamas.
It was we really should have loosened up. The bridle was in really tight. I feel like fine today, and now that it's over, I'm like, it's a new day, and I don't have any PTSD about it. I almost am like completely removed. Like, I almost forget how last night went, and I feel.
Well, it'd be 2 nights ago now.
Oh yeah, 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
But like, to me, it's just kind of last night we slept pretty good out here. We were just so tired.
Although when it did get dark out, I felt like a little twinge
nervous
and like kind of PTSD
just
from the trip.
Night, yeah.
Like, I'm still shaking. I think it's
interesting how you hold on to it.
A good thing. Because I think moving forward, we're going to plan, you know, more, you know, be better with our planning and more cautious.
For sure.
And even though the ICW and having to motor through that does suck, you know, you still see a lot of beautiful things, and it's safe. So
I think we'll just pick our days better. We'll do some offshore sailing, and we'll be like, we need a good offshore sail day. That's the thing.
Yeah, we just need one good offshore sail day.
We'll talk with Arthur, and then
we haven't had a good offshore sail day since, like, Lunenburg, honestly. The more days like that we need.
Yeah, but we can just make sure we have days like that. That's the problem. So yeah, today we're just gonna, like, regroup, reset, clean up the boat, relax.
Try out our cushions.
Try out the cushions.
Maybe sleep.
I can't believe how wet they are. Like, so much water must have come in. Like, the whole wave came in.
Yeah. That's bad.
Like, underneath and on top. And way up where your head is, it's also wet. Thanks for watching this week's episode. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for the next video when we make our way further south.